So here we go, fam. This is just a simpler way to approach budgeting. Now, as I was doing my research, I found another budgeting template that in which I think it's important for me to also share. Now, this is broken down into needs and wants. This goes for people who might be struggling with distinguishing the two, and not only that, this goes as well to people who in which need to strike a balance on how much to spend, or how much to spend, yes, on needs, as well as how much to spend on wants. So yeah, let's jump to the next template. Now let's do the other budgeting template, which when I was doing my research, I found it to be so beneficial as well for this video. Now this budget template, it helps you to make your priorities to be aligned. One, to also be able to identify and differentiate between the needs and the wants, and most importantly, to put much focus on your needs instead of wants. Now we know, according to how we were brought up or taught in school, needs are those necessities that in which you cannot live without. They are important, they are urgent, as well as important, whilst the wants on the other hand are things in which you can live out or without. You can survive basically without. Wants are not urgent, however they might be important. So yeah, let's start. In terms of figures, we're gonna use the same figures that we use from the previous example of the template that we did. So here on the other hand is the need income, money that is expected. It's your needs, it is your wants, it is your savings or debts. And how we do it initially is the estimated budget, how, and the actual. So this type of budgeting template, it requires you to always keep stock each and every time you do a transaction, or when you are about to sleep, just for you to make sure that it aligns with what you initially estimated. So let's start. In terms of your current balance, we'll use the same current balance, which is 1,600. It is actual as well because it's not projected. Salary, your bursaries, for instance, NSFAS gives you 1,500. It's also actual, it never changes. The money that comes from parents, take for instance, they are used to sending you 1,000, but for this month they decided something might have happened, or maybe your father got a bonus, so they sent you 1,500. So you see what's the difference. You initially expected 1,000, but the actual figure is 1.5. And then after, you'll see there's a difference folder, but we'll do it after here. And then you say, for instance, you are working, or you are getting an extra income. You are working, sorry, apologies for that. Take for instance, you are working and you are expecting, yeah, you are working, and then your salary here is 2,000. So initially you projected 2,000, and then it happens that maybe you are a waiter and you made certain mistakes, so they're gonna deduct 200 to cover the cost of your mistakes. So instead of getting 2,000, you gonna get 1.8. So you see the difference between actual and budgeting. Budgeting is the money you're expecting, actual is the money in which it's reflecting. So the difference here is zero. It's zero. It is also here, the difference is 500, and then here the difference is 200. 200, is it 200? Yes, the difference here is 200. And how you do it is that you're gonna add your actual figures plus 1.5 plus 1,000 plus 2,000. So initially you projected 6,100, but your actual figure and the money that is reflecting in your account is 1.5 plus 1,500 plus 1,800. The money that in which is reflecting in your account is 6,400, and then the difference is 300. So this is the current amount that you have in your money, and it allows you to budget for on certain things. Now let's go for the needs, the important things. Your groceries, just like last time, your groceries, let's just say it's 1,200 in which you projected. And then for rent, you initially pay your rent, which is 1,500. And then for transport and petrol, you budget for 610. So here you estimated that for your needs it's gonna be 3,741. However, the actual one that takes place during the, so your budget, you can do it before the year start, before the month begins, maybe on the 31st of July, or when the month begins. And then your actual or your projection, you do them as per transaction. Now when you get the bursary money, you record. When you when you pay for rent, you record. When you buy groceries, you record. So let's go for the actual. The actual amount, you'll find that it's 330, 1,350, 1,500, 430, and then 640. And then you find that your actual expenses are 309.20, and then you'll calculate the difference. Now I'm gonna rush because of time and I don't want this video to drag. So what I'm gonna do is that instead of just write everything and then we'll explain after. So you find that for calculating the actual amount, so you find that your actual wants are 735, and then your budgeted amount, you find that it's 200 plus both of these are 200. You'd find that your expected are 850. So it happens that you budgeted less than, you spent less than what you budgeted, which is positive and it's healthy for your budget. But when it's overboard, it might become tricky because you'd find that it will catch up with your budgeting system as a whole. So done, we are done with the wants, we are done with the needs, we are done with the income. Let's go for debt and savings. Say for instance you owe someone cash and you budget or project that you're gonna pay them 150 for this month, and then for your emergency fund you budget, which is a 5% of your actual amount. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 6,100 times 5 divided by 100, which is 305. And then your savings, which I usually advocate for 10%. What is mine to earn, it is also mine to keep. So we're gonna use it's the same as a tithing, which is 610. So it's gonna be 610, and then we're just gonna add the estimated amount 150, 305 plus 610. So our estimated amount is 1,065. So you find that the actual amount is, since then you have an extra cash, you decide to know what, let me speed up how I pay my debt. You add an extra 100, which is 250 instead of the 150, and then your savings fund, the 5% of 6,460, yes, 6,460, which is this amount, 6,460 times 5 divided by 100. You find that for your emergency amount it's 3 3, 2, 3, and then your savings, which is a 10% as well, it's gonna be 640, 640, and then when you add everything, it's gonna be 250 plus 323 plus 640. So you find that your actual amount that you saved or you paid your debts, it's more than your budgeted one, and the difference here is 148, 148. And then as I conclude with this budgeting, you're just gonna calculate the totals. Now you're gonna use your actual figures instead of the budgeted, because this is the amount that is important and not estimated. So your actual amount for income is 6,000. It's 6,460, whilst your actual amount for needs is 3,920, and then your wants, you find that it's 735, and then also your savings is 1,203. So how you gonna calculate the difference is that you're gonna subtract. Now there's a huge debate in terms of the salaries and debt, and why is it an expense on this instance. Because of time, I won't explain it further, but the simplest term is that you need to understand that this is the money that you are putting in a separate account or in a different jar. So for instance, it's not your income. You choosing with your income, you decide to save it somewhere else, and so that it doesn't become here, because it will mess up your budget. Now let's calculate the total figure for our budget. Is 604.60, subtract 3,920, subtract 7,735, subtract 1,213. So our initial total is that in our budget, after everything is done on the month of August, we're gonna have 592. So leaders, these were the two different budgeting templates that I hope were a blessing to you. If you have a question, please feel free to drop it on the comment section. We will do by all means to respond to it. I hope this was a blessing to you. And yeah, man, let's win in the area of finances. If you get this discipline right in the area of finances, everything else in your life will just flow naturally, because it's one discipline that beats a lot of people, and also it's one discipline that distinguishes the wealthy to the not so wealthy. So God bless you, and yeah, see you next time.